It's episode day. Wow, happy Thursday, you guys. Am I live? I am live. Okay. Come on in. We are live. We're usually live like 8 or 9 p.m., but today we are doing a live during the day. So come on in. Hello, everybody. I hope you guys had a chance to watch our episode. If not, definitely go check it out. Today we are going live with Miss Verlonda Jackson, Dr. Verlonda Jackson. Man, she is incredible, and I'm just so excited to be able to talk with her again, and just so that you guys can also ask questions. We realize that this is a heavy topic, but it's just so good and so necessary and so needed. So thank you guys for joining us for our live after show. I'm just so grateful. Yes, it was emotional. If you had a chance to already watch the episode, go ahead and drop a comment down below. Let us know if you enjoyed it, if you feel like it helped you, whatever the case may be. Please definitely give us feedback. Also, while we're on this live, feel free to drop any questions you have in the question box, because we will be doing a live Q&A. So definitely do that as well. Also, where are you guys watching from? Oh, it was beautiful. Yes. Wow, you guys, I just love the support that you guys are also giving her. I hope that I'm sure she does, but really just feel all of the love and support and one second, trying to multitask here. Oh, Tennessee, New York, where else? Blair and I are always trying Barbados. Okay, Ghana. Hi.
Hey guys.
How are
Hey
you?
Morgan. I'm good. How are
Good.
you?
It's so good to see
I know.
you.
So good to see you again.
Yes. How's your day going? How are you feeling?
I am here. My day is going well. It's hot in Georgia.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
It's actually really hot here too. I wasn't expecting it, but it's like 80 degrees, but it might be hotter in Georgia. Oh, wait, is it Blair? Nope, not Blair. Okay. Blair will be here in a second, but I just want to say thank you so much for joining
Absolutely.
us. Thank you for coming on in our after show. It's so important for us to be able to do this, just because we recognize that people have questions, and just like the episodes feel like they go so fast.
Yeah.
So we like to kind of be able to expand on the topic and things like that. But I just want you to know that you are doing such an amazing job. And just like, you just touch me so much, because I'm just like, this means so much to so many people. And just reading the comments and reading how much you are impacting everyone around the world is just like, it's phenomenal.
Wow. Thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
guys so much. I
You're,
appreciate it.
you're so welcome. And it's so interesting because, like you say, you're so strong. And it's like, I think this was also an opportunity for people to see, like, yes, you're strong, but you also have, this is a journey, and this is
Yeah.
also like you're transparent. And, I think that's something good for everybody to see too, because people who are, grieving and going through a journey similar, I think it's easy to feel like you're supposed to be a certain way. But just to show that, like, hey, all can coexist. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
How have things been just since we last saw you?
Things have been good. Being on the show with you guys, that was my first time talking about things live. And so while it was beautiful, it was triggering
Yeah.
for me. And I guess that is the human side. We show the beautiful side with the set and the cameras and the makeup but once it's over and I had to come back home, I had to still live in that reality. And it was the sisterhood around me that helped, pick me back up and kind of revive me again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's been a whirlwind. Things go, my days are good. Some days they are not so good, other
Yeah.
days. And so, but overall, I'm okay. I'm here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good point, because that was actually one of my prayers after you left. Was I recognized, like any mother, you know what I'm saying? Like, once all of this after we talk and, everything, it brings up so many emotions. And I just prayed that, like, you will continue to be comforted, because it is a heavy, topic, and it's still very real. And so I truly always have you in my heart and prayers, but especially this week, because I think it's like, again, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
now we filmed it.
Look
Hello.
at that pretty
Hello,
lady.
getting my hair
Hi.
done while I'm
I
talking to y'all.
see.
You guys were having a nice, solid moment, and all I want to know is, what did you think of the episode? Just shake it up. How are you? I'm good.
Oh, good.
Were you able to watch it?
I was able to watch it. I loved it. You guys did a great job. I'm so
You.
happy that I could be a part of it.
Oh, you are incredible. Watching it felt like I was not just there, like, or there a couple months ago. It
Uh-huh.
was so nice seeing you, like, watching it. I had chills the whole time, but the way you, like, handle, I was telling Taj, actually, this is going to sound so weird, but because, you're a doctor and all. And I was like, I do wonder if God gave you the ability to, like, know how to research and, like, learn things for yourself and, like, have all that experience so that you would be prepared for this. Because and even the way you went viral before everything happened, I just feel like God just put you in so many positions to give you support and the knowledge and the ability for what you went through. So those were my thoughts when I was watching the episode. But again, I popped back in, so I'm gonna let y'all continue what you got going on.
No, that's true. That I think we kind of even said it too during the episode, just saying, like, I could tell that even when you might not feel equipped, that you're equipped in all
Mhm.
ways. Like, with being, a psychologist, and with your daughter, and how you spoke about her, and how he's equipped you, even with her, just kind of, how is she doing, by the way?
She's doing good. She is very much being Ava Jackson.
No, okay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but I was just saying, like, with everything, it is very, very apparent that God has, like, equipped you, and there's so much more that you're going to do. I truly believe that this is just the beginning, of how you're going to impact so many lives around the world. And of course, and not only that, but Judah, you know what I mean? Just how he's going to live on through you, and how you are carrying on his name is just, like, incredible. What would I had was, just, you talk about your faith and everything, but what would you say? I don't think we asked this. What would you say to a mom who is struggling with her faith while she's grieving, and just having a hard time still believing in God during this time?
I don't know that there is anything to say without sounding cliche, especially a mom that has lost a child, or it's hard. I think there were moments where people would tell me, trust God, believe God, and I would be in a place to receive it. And then there would be times where people would just say, trust God, believe God, he's going to do it, he's going, and I didn't want to hear it. You know what I mean? I'm just
Yeah.
being honest. I don't know. Sometimes there are no words. You know how the old school people used to say, if I can't say a word, I'm just going to wave my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
So
mean,
that's
sometimes I think when you run out of words, it's just his presence that we just have to lean on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree. That that's a great answer, because it's true. Sometimes you're like, I don't have nothing for you. It's just the same
mhm.
way as, like, even in other situations where I'm like, God, I don't even have anything to say prayer
Yeah.
wise. I just need to sit here and just let you be,
Just
and
let
just
God be God,
let
honey. He understands
God be God.
first.
Yeah. I
Truly.
think when we heard Anita Phillips preach the other day, and this has just been on my head ever since, but like even Jesus wept. It's like we can be mad, we can be sad. I think sometimes we think being stoic means we believe more in God, like if we're
Mm,
stronger about it and we're not crying, we're not mad. But we're allowed to feel what we feel, and you're allowed to get that out. I think it's how long you let yourself, stay there, or how you let it affect, or how you treat other people. But even Jesus wept. We're allowed to
Mhm.
feel what we feel and to be mad and to be angry, to question God. He questioned God too, like, yo, you sure? Like
Yeah.
this cross, me? Like your
Yeah.
son? It's good when you say that.
Oh, I think
It all matters. But what I want to know, and it does, what does your day-to-day life look like lately? Like, I know you have a lot of like good stuff happening and a lot of nice memories and with your kids. So I just want to know what's going on with you now. I saw the movie that you guys are talking about. See,
we
this whole
lost.
time I thought it was me.
I thought it was you too, because it wasn't messing it wasn't messing up until you
Okay.
joined.
Did I kick her off?
I
Could my internet kick her off?
uh, I don't know. Whew, hold on. Well, hey y'all.
Hey, yeah. For those asking, the episode is on the Mom's Actually YouTube channel. It's called Fight Like a Mom. And if if you guys are like me, I know some of you guys have been following her ever since the first video went viral of
So the connection was bad from the
at
beginning.
the end.
My bad.
So it wasn't me. It's usually me, guys. It's usually me. But
Is it still bad?
no, you're very clear now. But I think I
Okay.
also turned off my Wi-Fi. We included Verlonda on this episode because we saw how the world came together for her in 2020 and 2021. And then once Judah passed away, everybody kind of goes back to their regular life, and they might check in here and there, but the stories just it's on the Moms Actually YouTube channel. So Moms MOMS Actually, and you can find it there. If you click on I think Morgan signed in as Moms Actually. So if you go into our
Yeah.
Instagram page, you can see it on our links as well. But yeah, it's just everybody was there for her, and then he passed away, and then people kind of get back to life because I think we were all following like all his progression and how he's pushed through and overcome, and then he passed away. And
Yeah.
so we're all very sad and that moment happens, but the story, which is her life, wasn't something we followed anymore as much. And so I just wanted to know how she felt now after everything.
Watching the episode today, because I feel like it's been like a minute,
Yeah.
so I watched it like everybody else, and I forgot how she talked about the secondary losses,
Mm-hmm.
which to me was like something people don't talk about enough. Is like you lose, someone tragically or whatever the case may be, but because people don't know how to show up for you, and because and it's not like on purpose, but she was basically just saying like she realized how many people didn't have death to them, and it really makes you think about just the people that you have around you. It makes you think about the friends and the
Mm-hmm.
support, and it's like, yes, people want to be there, but are they able to like stick it out when things really go
Mm-hmm.
awry?
And love for Goddess, you are right. She does have a lot of support. Like we have been watching her engagement, even before this, but this week, like you guys definitely, we're not saying that people do not care
Yeah.
about Dr. Jackson. Y'all, we all, you guys, everybody loves her and supports her. But we're not talking about just the people that did hang on, or even you guys. Like the engagement when it first happened, and we all know the story, so let's try not to get too literal. It's just we know when we're going through something, everybody's there. But then your life comes up and the things in your own family and your own stuff, and you kind of, instead of checking in every day, you start checking in every 3 days or every week. So that's what we're referring to about like the secondary losses. It's
Mhm.
just some people completely leave, some people slow down their attention, some people don't know how to be there.
It made
So
me think about myself, because
Mhm.
I don't do well with grief. I take it hard just watching someone else. Like y'all saw, I was crying. There she is.
Mhm.
I was crying right with her, and I kept having to like remember, like, Morgan, you have to be strong for her. Like you cannot be
Mhm.
boohoo crying right now on this set. But
Mhm.
I had to think about that when she said you know, people with depth and support and what that looks like, because I could do better, you know, like, and I'm thinking that me giving the space to people is me respecting them and their journey. Hello, you're back.
Hello, I'm sorry. I had a connection issue, so I done moved to another space.
It's okay.
Hello,
You
it's
back
all
and you
We
good.
back
still
in business.
fine.
We back in business, y'all.
Where what are those sunglasses? How about that? Can you tell me that real quick?
You
They
said,
are super cute. The
what are
sunglasses.
they?
Yeah,
They
where'd you
are
get them?
Gucci
Gucci about to make a
Gucci.
little check from me because those are cute.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think sometimes we do show support by like giving people space. We're like, ooh, let's get, but it's just hard. I think until my friend Zoe just she had I don't know if it's called miscarriage this late, but she miscarried in her third trimester, so she had a stillbirth.
Ooh.
And I remember when they first announced it, I was like, ooh, I should give her some space. And then they sent out a message because she was about to have her baby shower. So everybody that was invited to the baby shower, they were like, feel free to text them and like check in with
Oh
them
my
and love on them.
goodness.
And so that helps. So I text her after that. I actually had to delete my text because I told Morgan this, but the first text, it was like, so I could feel like I had said something like really good and like did my part. And so I erased that and just said something like simple and sweet. But I think that was the first time I realized, even in grief, whether they never respond to you at all, like it still matters for you to show up.
Yeah, yeah. When you were
Mhm.
off, Verlonda, we were just talking about the portion of the episode where you talked about secondary losses. Like, that's a big, I think people don't talk about that a lot or enough. Just what it looks like. Like, you have an amazing support system. Like, just looking at how people really, really like support you and have followed your journey from here and there. But there's also, I'm sure, days where it's still like, other than social media, there was days where you still felt alone, or, you know, you still were like, okay, this is tough.
Yeah.
And so people were basically saying, like, you know, they've been there with you from start to finish, and we're like, yes, very true. But I think that there's still something to be said about what it looks like to lose friends and people when you're going through the ebbs and flows of your journey as well.
Yeah.
Especially for the people that you think are your
Characteristics
people.
of normal. That was hard. A lot of people that I lost along the way, it didn't change who they were, like as being good people. They just didn't know how to show up for something
Mhm.
like this. And I learned at the top of Judah's accident, they don't know how to be there. And so you would get some people who would say too much and unknowingly be insensitive. And then you would get people who are really close to you that just wouldn't say anything at all. And it just, it was very lonely, and it didn't matter all the people following along on social media, you know, fans, followers, and people who were, you know, praying from afar. I appreciate it, but there was no one like right here next to me to like reach out and touch, you know what I mean? Especially when I was in New Orleans with Judah, I was with him by myself, and so many people were looking for updates about the baby, and it was like, pray for Judah, pray for Judah, pray for Judah. And mom was struggling. I mean, struggling. And so there was a lot of secondary losses, a lot of secondary losses. And so it wasn't just the baby that I grieved. You know what I mean? It was my old life. It was my old friends. When I lost Judah and had to start over, everything started over.
Yeah, I think, and I'm not sure if you were, because this is another like caveat to it all, but are there things you would tell someone who is trying to kind of support someone through a grief journey? Like, are there things that you wish someone would have done, or you just learned in this process, like, this would have been nice if this would have happened or not happened? Are there things along the way that you learned that you could share to kind of help other people as they try? Because I was saying to Blair before you jumped on, I know me, it's not that I don't care about the person. It's not that I don't love the person, pray for them. But sometimes because I don't know what to say, or I'm scared to cry more than they cry, which is,
Yeah.
I kind of like freeze up. And
Yeah.
that's not an excuse. And I never want people who I do love and care about deeply to feel like I'm not supporting them. So, is there some tips or something that you could give? Because I know that sometimes it's like, I don't even know what I need. Because that's an answer
Yeah.
too.
I respected people for just showing up. You know what I mean? Just show up as you. You don't have to. People didn't have to show up in these like big crazy ways. I had people who would just send a text to say, "Hey, I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for you." I had people who would just show up in front of my face and they were trying to pray, but they just could not stop crying because they were so emotional and the
Yeah.
whole thing affected them. I had people starting, meal trains, and I didn't know what I needed. I needed love and support. And at that time, I couldn't control what that looked like. And so I allowed people to just show up and just be who they wanted. Sometimes people just showed up and just sat with me in silence because for that kind of situation, there are no words. And so I would say just show up as you. People will love and respect you. When the dust settles, they will remember Morgan. Whether it was Morgan crying 1,000,001 tears, they will remember that you showed up in all of your genuineness. And people will respect that.
Yeah. Man, that's good, and it's helpful.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna remember that
It's
because
a
yeah,
it's a good point. My friend from church, CJ King, he had posted this story. You probably saw it because Megan Brooks reposted it. But he was
Yeah.
saying he was like walking around everywhere and he was having a hard day and all he needed was a hug. He's like, if one person would have just hugged him that day, he would have
Mm-hmm.
broken down. That's what that just made me think of. I think as we're trying to find all the right words or right things, I think show up as yourself and those hugs like you don't even be knowing you need them because you ever been in
Mm-hmm.
church if someone just
woo,
hug you and you're
oh
like
my god,
oh, you down to the
all they gotta do is just be like, hey,
they
and don't let them
they
like
not
look
even
right
praying for you yet,
in,
they
not
just
even
did the
praying. They just give you a hug or they look right into your eyes.
Mhm.
That's it. It's
Yep,
over.
yep. So I think sometimes we overanalyze it so we don't have to do anything too. I think it
Man,
gives you the excuse not to move, it's
Yeah.
like what she was talking about, like when you were in Louisiana, like what would friendship is, what would someone showing up would have looked like? Because again, you can get all the prayers, but sometimes we need to physically touch someone or have someone there or be able to feel like you can lean on something. Even if you still in that
Mm-hmm.
moment, the person could be right next to you and you still feel like you got to do everything, but it's just nice. And you're away from your
Yeah.
entire family, your
Yes.
husband. Girl,
Yes.
I have a question. And,
Yes, ma'am.
if it's too much, how has your marriage sustained?
How has my marriage
Because
sustained?
in losses,
Um,
usually divorce can happen, all of that. So it's like, how have you guys sustained? Are you
yes.
guys sustaining? Do you need prayer?
It has definitely, yes, we need much prayer. Praise the Lord. It has definitely
We
been, when we get married, they say for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer. I don't think we have seen worse until now when you
are.
experience a loss like that. And I have my own grieving process, and my husband has his own grieving process. And sometimes we clash, sometimes we don't understand each other. And so I will say that I understand why the divorce rate is so high after parents lose a child. And it also makes me more grateful to see the marriages who have thrived after losing a child because it's hard. And so it has definitely been a season of pivoting where I've had to take a step back and say, okay, God, what's going on? Like, we need your grace, we need your help. Like, we just need you to stand in the middle. And so it's been rough. It's been rough. We're still hanging on, but it has been rough.
No, I can imagine marriage alone is, has its ebbs and flows and can be rough. And when you add something on it, it's just, you got to have like extra. you're trying to get these kids through, you're trying to be a
Yes.
wife, be the intimacy they still need. Like
Hmm.
I
It's a
can't even
lot to
begin. I won't even say I can
show
imagine.
up. Yes, it's a lot to show up
Mhm.
for.
And it's hard because people don't necessarily show up for moms, the same
Hmm.
way because we're just expected. Like, your kids do their best, but they're kids. They're not required to. And then I I think men are taught to provide for women differently than sometimes we need. Like they're gonna make sure the bills are paid. They're gonna make sure, you ask them to watch the kids, they're gonna show up. But it's like sometimes the things that we actually like need and the care that we actually need, they kind of miss it, not on purpose. So it can create
Yeah.
more difficulties. People don't talk
Yeah.
about this part of marriage though. It's just the cute part.
I will say that this is definitely a season where to make it out of it will make us
Yeah.
stronger and will give
Yeah.
us a much bigger voice on this journey for others along the same journey. I will say that, but first you got to go
Yeah.
through it.
Of
And
course.
so the going through it, the climbing up the mountain
Hmm.
is never easy. It's always hard. It's always rocky. And so I commend those who have made it to the top instead of just saying forget it and just letting go and just like, yeah, forget the whole thing. And so we're still
Yeah.
climbing, you know what I
Yep.
mean? And so just keep us in prayer as we continue to try to figure out how to show up for each other and still show up for the rest of the world.
Yeah. But there's testimony in the journey. I think sometimes we have to wait until like we've got to the top of the mountain or the other side and be like,
Uh-huh.
we made it and this is how, instead of like, hey, we climbing. And
Yeah.
so if you
Yeah.
climbing too, like we see you, like
Yeah.
instead of the perfect picture at the end. So I appreciate that.
And there goes that sisterhood again. You know, there's other sisters to see your sisters, to see your friends. That I think that's what gives you the strength to hold on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure.
Oh man, we
I,
lost her
I
again.
thought it was you this time, Morgan.
No,
They said the lady at the top's connection was terrible.
that's what they said. Oh man. Oh, I thought I was all right.
I don't
Someone,
know. Are we? Oh yeah. I don't
oh,
know.
someone was asking a question about marriage and was saying, what do the conversations look like as you grieve?
It might be me. I haven't seen any questions in such a long time.
I'm looking in the question box.
Oh, okay. Woo.
How is it for both you and your husband to stand in a place of grieving? So you guys were kind of, she was kind of touching on that. What kind of extensions are you getting, Blair? I don't think she's getting extensions.
So yes, I
You,
am. This is
you
my
are?
hairstylist, Taj.
Hey.
She does my hair on the show. What kind of extensions am I getting?
You are getting micro links, but you are getting wefted links.
Wefted micro links. She is in
Wow.
Atlanta, y'all. If you guys are in Atlanta, and I saw Selling Sunset, I thought, not that this matters, but I thought a girl on there was black, and I was like, oh, she reminds me of me.
Don't tell
And I
nobody else
love,
that. Don't tell
and I loved
nobody
her
else that.
hair. And then I
Please.
realized she's not.
Don't
But
tell
her
any.
hair's still fire.
No. No one. It's one
Part,
person.
that part out of the story.
Just say I saw this girl. I thought her hair was
I just
cool.
can't believe she's not black.
Yeah.
Yes, but yes, that's why Taj is really good at doing all hair. So sorry for you guys,
Oh, thank you.
but she's very good at doing hair. I met her 9 years ago from someone who recommended her that had never gone to her yet. And so I was the test dummy. And I did not realize she could style hair until about 3 years ago because I always got the same style. So yes, she keeps my hair nice and healthy. If you're looking for a stylist in Atlanta, just make sure
Thank you.
she still has time for me.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Any other, do you guys have any questions? Because when she pops back on, we can make sure we ask them of her. If you have any questions about the show or any other episodes that we've had, anybody that you guys want to see us have for future seasons or off seasons, we would love to know.
Yeah. And your stepkid has given you hell. We both are a blended family.
Yeah.
I'll go
But
from.
this is why we need guests, because you are the mother of
But
the child.
we're on the both.
But Kate, my stepdaughter's like abnormal. Like she is just,
She's amazing.
yeah. don't have like there's no I think
But
there's issues with the blended family dynamic, yes, but I don't have like issues with like her.
well, it's kind of we just kind of sort of had this conversation a couple weeks ago though, and I was just saying like I think from the parent, from my standpoint, because I am the biological
Yeah.
parent, I can give that, but I also can give the standpoint of just kind of looking on the outside in when it comes to my husband. Now, my husband has been in my daughter's life since she was 2,
Mm-hmm.
so it is still different. But I can imagine if he were to come into her life right now. She's 11. She's also going through puberty. Her hormones are everywhere, and she just thinks she knows best. She thinks she knows more than what she actually knows. I could imagine that if my husband came into her life right now, she would probably be giving him a hard time. I actually could, I don't have any doubt about it. And so I would say to the person who is coming into a situation, try to put yourself in their shoes. I'm not sure if your stepchild is a boy or a girl, but either way, it's in how old they are. But if they are in the age of they're really just trying to figure it out, realize that they're trying to figure it out while also figuring out the world, while also going through a bunch of hormones. My daughter I feel like it didn't really hit her that she was in a blended family until this year, really. And she's 11. So just having, yes, they can be very hard. Having grace for them, also just giving them space to talk and to share their feelings. So letting them know like how you feel, just having a very, very open means of communication, because I think it's also important for them to know what's on your heart as well, and that you don't mean ill, and you don't, because depending on whatever they have in their ear, they could already be thinking that, oh, you're here to split their family up that they had before, or whatever the case may be. But just truly giving grace, always trying to communicate your best interests at heart. I'm not saying that you have to suck up to the child or anything like that. I watch my husband all the time just give my daughter space. Even though he's known her forever, he still, I can tell, has moments where he's kind of it won't let Verlonda reconnect. She said we were together 4 years before marriage. Oh, okay. So they were together 4 years before the marriage, and then once the marriage happened is when the daughter started to. And so again, I think better proves the point of like they are processing so much, and as like little people. And like I said, my daughter, she's 11, and just this past, like I would say these past few months is when I finally started to see that she was processing that she's in a blended family. It's never come up before, not in this way. And so I think it's like, because she's getting older, because she's seeing so much and people around her and her friends and all of the things, and also going back and forth between houses more now that we live closer to her biological dad, it is a lot. And so maybe with the marriage, it's like really settling in that whatever secret hope that she may have had for her parents to be together and get back together is actually not a hope anymore. And so unfortunately, that's something that she has to grieve, and he or she, has to grieve, and you just have to be there for them. And also, it helps to talk with your spouse as well and have that communication, because if y'all aren't on the same page, it makes it very hard to parent the child all at once, because they can sense when y'all not on the same page. They can sense division, and they will take every opportunity to divide. That's my long, short answer.
Yeah. Like I said, I have an abnormal step situation. The girl I would replicate her 3 times. I'd say the hard part is she's like me as a child. She doesn't really talk. And not just to us, in her own home. She doesn't really talk. She holds a lot in. And I know one of the harder things when she was younger is it's when Norman was kind of like building up the business, especially. So when she would come, she would spend most of her time with me, which she didn't complain about. We have a good time together. But, she yearns for her dad. Like, she wants to, it's all those questions that people have. Like, is he not around because of me? I'm sure. Or, like, why? Like, I wonder if he's more there because we have two younger children. Is he more present for the other children? It's like all these stories that we create in our head as adults, like kids create them too. And so I just learned to start talking, regardless of, what I think she understands or what she didn't. Like, I hadn't seen her in about like 2 months, the other day, and I messaged her and I was just like, I know it seems like adults always have it together, but we've been going through a hard time a lot. So I just want you to know we love you a lot. We want to see you soon. And we were able to see her like I think last week, but I think sometimes, especially when the child's not in the house, which probably can be frustrating to the biological mom. It's like we're trying to get so much together here. And when, it's out of sight, out of mind, which is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing to say. And I think it's just different for dads and moms, period. Like, I think if Norman was the mom, it'd probably be a totally different situation. But dads and the way they are with the kids, a lot of times, it's just different. So it's
Yeah.
like I have to think about it a little bit more in our relationship and the way we're set up. I'm just the person who thinks about the kids, and that has to include her as well. And so I think internally that can probably cause some issues too. I feel like at the end of the day, we all got daddy issues and we all got mommy issues. We all gonna mess up our kids somehow, and I just hope it's not in the big ways, which is why I try to talk to them as much as possible so they don't have to assume too much.
She said the child is actually 18. So,
That's a
yeah.
big grown child. Let them,
Yeah, like
what?
that's not a
They can
child. So
fight.
at this point, it's like they're
They're,
not an
they're
adult, but like they think they are, which means that I can talk to you like an adult and ask you what's up, like what's wrong. I mean, that probably sounds terrible, but I mean, I think because they are older, it should allow you guys. She also mentioned they've had a great relationship before, so it's like I think that's plenty of space and reason to sit them down and say, okay, I've noticed a huge switch. What has happened? What has occurred? Because it also, especially being 18, it could really have nothing to do with you. It could have
It
nothing to do
don't got
with
nothing
you.
to do with her. It's 1% about her. That's it.
Yeah, it probably has nothing to do with you, and you're just getting the butt end of it because you're easy to blame. Like you're the easy target. So if anything, I would be more concerned about what exactly is going on that has made you switch and made you start acting crazy, and how can I help? Like, I'm not here to do anything crazy. I'm here to help you. I'm just the same way I was before the marriage, before the rings, before the wedding, all the stuff. I'm still here for you. So how do I, they're old enough. That's a conversation. Oh, wow. So she admitted that it is the marriage, and because it's now a new baby.
I mean, but they
Man,
were still together 4 years before the marriage. Like,
yeah.
it's not just that. I think it's the excuse that the
That's what I was
child
about to
is
say. It
like
sounds like
giving
an
themselves to
excuse.
make it make sense. Yeah. It
I would really try to like see.
They would have been happier like if their parent if they hadn't married and just were still living together. Do they still hope their parents are getting to, like, how long have their parents been separated or like, divorced, that another marriage? Like, I just feel like it's probably mostly something else, but it's the easiest thing to see if you're not being
Yeah,
introspective.
yeah, I think so too.
This is
Um,
why everybody should be in therapy, and we should start a little bit, or, before you get like older. It's like teaching you skills to like think and be introspective, even if it's not formal therapy. But like, there's so many like apps and things that encourage like just self-talk and self-reflection and thinking about your thinking. And I think there is something I'm gonna do Noble in. It's called like tap outs or something like that. But just something to like teach you how to think about your thinking. And I think we don't usually go to therapy or do those kinds of things until we're in trauma already. And after we've been cycling through a story that's just not true. So
yeah, I agree. I have to go.
So Morgan, so we moved up to live today because Morgan forgot last minute that she had a wedding today. And so she is
Yes,
not prepared for said wedding, and she is about to prepare for said
I
wedding.
am about to prepare for said wedding and nurse myself back to health because right before this live, I was picking up my children and I got stung by a bee. I've never in my life, ever in my life, got stung by anything.
Did it sting you in the back? The way you arched your back, girl.
Because it's on my back. So like I've been like doing like this during the live because it still stings.
Well, at least now you know you're not allergic to bee stings.
Yeah, it's only like a little swollen, but I feel like this is supposed to be it's supposed to be like that, I guess, right?
What do you guys do for a bee sting? How do you guys handle that? I said Benadryl because that's my answer to everything. Like, but if you guys have any ways for her to, like, did you check for a stinger in your back
I tried to, but
by yourself?
all I have is young children here that
Oh, Layla couldn't do it.
my 4-year-old took my phone and took a picture of my back so that I could see what's going on back there. So I now have to wait until my lovely husband comes home. Until then, I'm gonna ice it and while also trying to prepare for this wedding that is in 2 hours.
Well, have fun. It's your first Nigerian wedding, right?
It is. It's my first Nigerian wedding. I've never been to one. I'm really excited. Yes. Oh, you're so welcome. We hope that this, sorry, we have completely changed all subjects. We're all over the place, per usual, but you're welcome. Cut an onion in half and rub it. Oh, I have an onion. A half of onion,
And then
actually. I just
take a shower when you're done.
And then, yeah. Also, I don't want to
Because you're about
go the wedding smelling like an onion.
just take a good shower afterwards because you're about to be dancing and stinking. And they're probably Christian Nigerians, so you know they're gonna be they use deodorant, so you know you
Oh
will be
my
the only
God.
one stinking.
Okay.
But try it.
Whew.
It works.
It works perfect. Okay. I'm going to try it. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining.
If you have not watched the episode, please watch it. Share with a friend. It is an incredible episode.
Yeah.
Verlonda, just watching it again, talking to her, I get chills every
Yeah.
time. Like it's an episode that will stick with you for a very long time.
Definitely. One to remember. Thank you guys so much. If you guys are not subscribed, please subscribe to us. Also, we have subscriptions on our YouTube. After this replay will be actually on our subscription page if you want to watch the whole thing. If you came in at the end and were able to see Verlonda, definitely subscribe on our Instagram so that you can see that as well, amongst all the other things that we have planned for you guys. So yeah, thank you guys so much and peace out. Can't wait to see your hair, Blair.
See you
Bye.
soon.